Hi everybody, it's Marcy, and today I'm working on my tucks for Dearjuliejulie August Junk Journal Challenge, and I want to show you how I'm making my tucks using one 12 by 12 sheet of scrapbook paper. And I'm going to show you on this one, but this is not the one I'm using because I've already made some of them. So the first thing I do, obviously, take off the top band. Then I cut my paper into 3 4-inch wide by 12-inch tall strips, okay? So that's what I started with. And here I've got one of those 4-inch by 12-inch strips. So the first thing I'm going to do with my strip is I'm going to score it at 8 inches. So I'll have 8 inches up here and 4 inches here. Okay. I'm going to fold that, burnish that down, and that's all I'm doing with my scoreboard. Then I'm going to pull out my paper cutter, and on this one, I'm going to start at on the 8-inch part. And I want to score from the top right corner to the bottom left score line. So I always have to stop and think about how to turn my paper to do this. Okay, so I'm going to get it lined up. So that I'm cutting top right to bottom left, right to the score line. Okay, and this is what I'm left with. Okay, then I'm going to, basically I want to take this corner off. And so I'm going to score from my fold line from the top left at my fold line to the bottom right corner. If I just said score, I meant cut. Okay, so now I've got sort of almost like half of a diamond if you turned it this way, or a kite, half of a kite. So now I've got this triangle, and this half of a kite or half of a diamond. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take this piece, and I'm going to use my edge punch, my Martha Stewart edge punch, and I'm going to punch down, up and down this edge. So I got that done, and on this one, I always end up with a little bit of, right at the edges, I end up with a little bit of loose stuff, so I'm just gonna trim that off. I think on that edge it'll be fine, except right there, trim that off. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and ink around all my triangles. So I'm actually going to pause the video while I do that, and I will be inking along my score line as well. So I'm going to pause the video, do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I inked around my edges, and now I'm going to start with this little triangle, and I'm simply going to make, I've got a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 sheet of paper that I folded into a triangle, and I went ahead and inked around it. And I'm very simply going to make a corner tuck. I think this style is attributed to Patricia Viramontes. And so I'm going to glue my scrapbook paper down onto my triangle, and I'm going to leave just a little bit of the border showing all the way around. Now, if you did not want any border showing, you could cut it to 4 by 4, which would make it the same size as your triangle. Okay, then just to add a little decoration, I've got some of Dearjuliejulie bright paper that I cut with my scallop circle punch. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to glue that down. And all of these that I'm doing, all of these tucks that I'm doing are really simple. As far as the decorating, basically the hardest part of making these tucks is already done. So put that little heart on there. And on the heart, I'm going to just stamp a little daisy on there, and then I'm going to use one of my Dollar Tree flowers and some of my green, my binding thread that I dyed green using my oxide inks. So wrap that around. Just make some little leaves for the daisy. Whoops. Pop that down. Pop that on top. And grab one of my stickers. For my flower center. And that little tuck spot is done. Tuck here, flip this up, and you've got some journaling space. So there's one. Now for my second one, I'm going to grab this, and this one I'm actually going to turn this way and have it be a top tuck. So you can see they're all obviously all triangles, but I've got them going different directions and making them differently, so more decorating them differently than anything. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of book page and music page. I'm going to sort of make a mini cluster. I need to tear that down a little bit, which means I need to re-ink this. Okay, so just glue those down. And sorry, I'm so quiet. Forgot what I was gonna say. I realized I was being quiet, and then I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay. So I didn't ink that. So here I've got another Dearjuliejulie image from Colorful Daisies, part of the mini ephemera. And so I'm going to just glue it down onto this piece of index card. Basically, I'm just gonna sort of make a large faux stamp. All right. So I'm gonna use my stamp scissors and cut around the edge of that. I think I need to bring this edge down a little bit. Plus I didn't place the picture down straight, so okay, so then that will just go on top of there. In essence, I'm just making sort of a mini little cluster right on top to decorate this top tuck. All right, and now I will use my cancellation stamp . And just put a cancellation on my, okay. So then there, that quickly, we've got the second of the three from that one 4" by 12" strip of paper, and that will be a top tuck. Then we're down to this one. And for this one, I want it to be a, this one will end up going on the bottom of the page. So say this is my page. It will be a great page decoration for a blanker page because it's so tall. Then when you turn the page, you've got another little tuck on this side of the page. And that's part of the reason that I made these in this orientation, so that one can go this way and then somewhere else in the journal, this one can go this way. Okay? So, for this one, I want to use my daisy stamp, and I do need this. Fold that under so I don't get the stamp anywhere I don't want it. And I'm just going to stamp some daisy on there. Like so. I didn't do very good on that stamping, but that's okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of lace trim on here. Just like that. And I will trim off, flip it over this way, trim off that bit. And then right here, trim off that little bit. Let's trim that again. Okay. And that's all I'm going to do on that side. And on the other side, and I may sew up this edge. Actually, these I may sew onto the page. So I may sew this edge before I put it in. And then when I put it in my journal, I can sew this edge, which will also sew this edge. But for now, I'm going to flip this over. And again, I'm just going to make a little cluster. But this time I'm going to use a little piece of my gauze that I dyed with my oxide inks. And put down a little piece of fabric. And then I'm going to put just a little ladybug on top of that. All right. So, and that is all there is to that. So I've got 3 of these that will, and each one will go over the page at the bottom, actually creating 2 tucks. And then I've got 3 top tucks and 3 of the tuck spots with journaling space, all made from 1 sheet of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. So that's it for now, guys. Until next time, I wish you all a wonderfully happy, crafty day. I will talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.